Rather complicated, but that is the prevailing situation. Ball is on the Ohio State 25-yard line. Buckeyes ball. It's third down and about a yard to go. Kempthorne was hurt in the last play, and Duffick is the middle linebacker, fullback. Ball goes to Morrison. Morrison is through there for a good gain of about 4 or 5 yards, up to about the 29 or 30, where he's wrapped up by the right tackle, Wall. They're a little light of the Ohio State 30. Let's put it on the 29 for a first down. A timeout for Ohio State. Ohio State have not used up all of their timeouts, so with the clock saying 1 minute and 10 seconds, Ohio State is rather anxious to stop that clock. Of course, it would be stopped automatically at an incomplete forward pass. The Buckeyes are anxious to get on as many plays as they can, because here in the closing minute and 10 seconds of the first half, Ohio State trails by the score of 7-0. I want to recap that Michigan touchdown for you. It came with Michigan on a fourth down with 14 yards to go. They decided to try a forward pass rather than to try a field goal into the wind. The field goal would necessarily, from the line of scrimmage, have been 24 yards. It would have been necessary to kick the ball about some 30 yards. So they decided to try a fourth down pass, and it was good from Tenega to Koseski. Koseski caught the ball about 2 yards in the end zone and about 1 yard inside the boundary. All right, time is in again. Ohio's ball a first down, their own 29. Single wing, they shift to the right. The ball goes back to Savick. He's going to throw downfield. Here they come downfield, and it is no good. It is no good. Van Sumeren covering. The potential receiver on the play was Jimmy Haig. Ball was cleared down to the Michigan 30-yard line. Long pass into that wind by Savick. The Ohio ends are Haig and Armstrong. That stops the clock, of course. Takes the ball back to the 29-yard line, where it's the Buckeyes, second down and 10. Michigan is still using the six-man line. It's a 6-1-3-1. Ball goes back to Hamilton. He fades back, and now he throws a long forward pass. Defensive receiver on the play was Armstrong, but it was broken up beautifully by Lentz, defensive left halfback of Michigan. That pass was thrown by Hamilton. He came over the strong side, then faded back. Michigan closed in on him. He leaped in the air and threw that pass downfield, down to the 35-yard line. Clevey comes into the ball game, replacing Hamilton for Ohio State. Clark and Ellis are the Michigan defensive ends. Third down and 10. Clevey has the ball. He faded back. He's at to throw a forward pass, then ran with the ball. He's up over the 30, and he's dropped on the 32-yard line. He was caught by McClelland. Walt Clevey dropped back. He's up to throw a pass, then ran the strong side, having nobody to throw that ball to. The clock is running. It says 30 seconds, 29, 28. Ohio State goes right into a single wing back. Ball goes back to Savick. Savick is going to throw. He does. He throws to Morrison over on the 35-yard line, but Morrison is immediately dropped. But the clock is running, 15 seconds. In there on the tackle was Duffick. Clock is stopped with 15 seconds of playing time remaining. Of course, it is not a first down. Michigan will take over for a first down and time for, well, they have 15 seconds worth of plays. Ball is on the Ohio State 34. It's Michigan's ball. First down and 10. 15 seconds remaining in the first half. The Ohio State and the Michigan fans are crowding down. Our friends at the crack of the gun, Joe Mulvihill will have a message for you. Then we'll have a whole bunch of scores. All right, Ortman is the tailback, single wing to the right. The man in motion is Van Sumeren. Ortman takes the ball. He's being rushed. He's fading way back. And he's deliberately runs out of bounds on the 46-yard line. He deliberately ran out of bounds when he couldn't find a pass receiver. He was rushed in there aplenty by Jennings. So 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 he runs the ball out of bounds on the 46. That stopped the clock with 2 seconds remaining. Scala is in at end for Michigan. One of the JV boys. There's 2 seconds of playing time remaining. Ortman going out of bounds stopped that clock, of course. Stop that clock, of course. Stop that clock, of course. He shifts single wing to the right. Ortman is deep. Ortman takes the ball. He's fading back. He's going to throw. He does. He throws, but it's incomplete. The clock has run out. Has run out. There's the crack of the gun. The half is over, and the score, Michigan 7, Ohio State nothing. Your play-by-play announcer has been Tom Manning. Our engineer has been Bert Pruitt. And now a message from our sponsor before we hear the scores from Tom Haley. Come in, Joe Mulvihill.
All right, Tom.
Joe Mulvihill.
All right, Tom. Well, folks, it's time to take a breather. Time to get a cold drink or a snack from that big Norge refrigerator that holds so much in every food storage zone. And here's some important news about another Norge appliance for the home. Did you know that you can be gone all day and still come 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 for a piping hot dinner? Yes, ma'am, you can if you own a Norge electric range. Yes, indeed. All you have to do is this. Put your dinner into the deep well or into the oven of your Norge electric range. Set the controls and come back hours later to find your dinner thoroughly cooked and piping hot waiting for you. Now, isn't that something nice to come home to? But that's only part of the story. The big 7-speed units on the surface give you a choice of heat selections. They tailor the heat to the cooking you want to do. And that charcoal broiler broils steaks or chops to tasty perfection. There's a warming drawer, too, that keeps food at ready-to-serve temperatures. Stop in and let your Norge dealer tell you all about the wonders of the fully automatic Norge electric range. See for yourself why Norge electric ranges are so popular with busy wives and mothers. Well, the score at the end of the first half here at Ann Arbor, Michigan, Michigan 7, Ohio State nothing. This has been a tensely fought battle, and there'll be more of it in the second half, and Tom Manning will be back to give you his vivid description of the second half of this football game between Ohio State and Michigan.